Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So we got Dr. Martin Heisbach here saying this: judging by the recent actions and statements by the SEC, there is an increasing chance that ETFs will not be approved in January. We just got this news yesterday, and Dr. Martin Heisbach pointing out that if this is the case, prepare for a major crypto dump. Things hardly ever turn out the way we expect. So, we're going to see the market react. Once we get that news, one way or the other, we are going to see the market react. Right now, we are actually seeing a Bitcoin price start to move up even higher. It is now, it has gone past that $38,000 mark. This is Bitcoin on the daily. Let's take a look at it on the hourly just to show you guys where the price of Bitcoin has gone overnight. Sitting here now at about $38,600. We did see a high of about $38,800. So we did see a price spike starting at about 8 p.m. last night. But again, guys, there still is time. I mean, as per Heisbach's prediction, the news really is going to dictate where the market goes next. On the positive side, Michael Branch here pointing this out. Bloomberg analyst says that SEC is lining up to potentially approve all spot Bitcoin ETF applications in January. So the flip side of this, a complete 180 opinion. In a lengthy thread on social media platform X, James Seifert said that the SEC making earlier than expected rulings on Franklin's bid for a Bitcoin ETF means that the regulatory agency could be setting the stage to approve the others in January. And here's the quote, guys. Wow, SEC went super early on Franklin, as we reported the other day, that they pushed the deadline up. They weren't due for another decision until January the 1st. Notably, Franklin is the only issuer who didn't submit an updated S1 form yet. Wonder if that had any impact. Going super early on Franklin today would set things up for a full wave of approvals in early January. So he is saying, he's not saying it's going to happen, but he is saying if it does get approved, then chances are we are going to see a wave of approvals come January. This delay on Hashdex also all but confirms for me that this was likely a move to line every applicant up for potential approval by the January 10th, 2024 deadline. So maybe what we're seeing right now is that anticipation. I still think we are going to see some negative news, though, before we do see some positive news. I do think that this is a temporary move to the upside, and that, over the course of the winter, we are going to see a bit of a retracement, because personally, I don't think they are that close yet. Let me bring up the XRP chart here. XRP not really reacting to any kind of news, still staying fairly stable at around 61 cents, give or take 61.1. Whoops. 61.1. So the XRP price really hasn't moved too much. We've got greed still at 70. So people are kind of, they're feeling a bit anxious and a bit optimistic, but I feel like there's a huge segment of the market that really just doesn't know what to do yet. 24-hour increase, decrease. We're seeing Bitcoin up about 1.92%. Ethereum is up 2.28. We got BNB coin up a little bit. Climbing back from the dead, XRP is up 0.96, almost a percentage point. But really, guys, we're not seeing too much in terms of movement for the crypto space. I don't know how many of you guys caught this video I did. This is me. It was just a test, though. I was trying to test out the technology to do a YouTube live. Here, I'll play it for you. So guys, this is for the Patreon subscribers. Pretty much I'm just doing a test right now, so you don't have to jump and think that you're missing something right now. I just wanted to get this test just sorted out, because I really wanted to do a question and answer. Excuse me, question and answer for my Patreon subscribers. So again, I'm just getting one of my patrons to help me out with this. So if you guys see this, I guess consider it a bit of a heads up. This is what we're doing in the coming weeks. Okay. So yeah, brand new news for the Patreon subscribers, guys. I am going to be starting a live Q&A session. You can find that at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. It's a good time to join right now. It is the beginning of the month, December 1st, and it is only $5 a month. I've purposely kept it affordable. I haven't created any VIP tiers or anything like that, charging you upwards of $25, $50 a month, anything like that. I've kept it one tier, $5. I want as many people to benefit from this as possible, and I do want whoever's interested to be able to follow throughout the bull run into 2024 and 25 on the Patreon. I'm going to be outlining my crypto portfolios, talking about my legacy XRP portfolios, selling targets, my Bitcoin as well, along with my other cryptocurrencies like my Algorand, my VeChain, for example, but I've also set aside a $10,000 plus portfolio that I may be adding to, just depending on where the market goes. So patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I do still think there's actually some more time, guys. I do think there's going to be one last opportunity to down cost average into some of these cryptos, or perhaps buy some more high flyers. But, the chances are slipping away. So if that's something you're interested in, I will be, for my Patreon subscribers, I will be doing a live Q&A session fairly regularly. I'm still trying to figure out what the schedule is going to be on that, but I'll let everybody know. Rahul Advani here posting this. Now, I think this speaks volumes to where Ripple's mind is at when it comes to what's going on in the rest of the world. So we know Rahul Advani is the policy director for Ripple in the APAC region. He says, I finally spent a full 6 consecutive days in Singapore after being on the road for the past few weeks. I took the opportunity to host Celeste Rodriguez and Michelle Lee from the American Chamber of Commerce in Singapore at the Ripple Singapore offices. Great discussions on Ripple, he says. But guys, note this, okay? Some of the updates from across the region in this week's APAC Policy Digest. Austrac has published a new threat alert to explain how criminals recruit money mules and use them to launder the proceeds of crime through digital currency exchanges. The Monetary Authority of Hong Kong, they published a report on the benefits of bond tokenization. The Financial Supervisory Service, okay, this is in Korea, has overhauled the Financial Customer Protection Agency and created a new unit dedicated to virtual assets. The BIS published a report analyzing operational technology, third party, and business community risks. Also from the BIS, Innovation Hub published a final report on Project Tourbillon, which explores privacy, security, and scalability for CBDC design. And the Financial Stability Board published a report on the financial stability implications of multifunction crypto intermediaries, calling for cross-border cooperation and enhanced information sharing to help regulate and supervise such intermediaries operating globally. Now, he probably wouldn't be posting this unless all of these organizations were favorable in some way, shape, or form to what Ripple is doing in the APAC region. So we've got Australia, Austrac, the Monetary Authority of Hong Kong. We already know that there is a partnership there with Ripple. Financial Supervisory Service, and you can see the flags there. So Hong Kong, Australia, Korea. The Bank for International Settlements is another big one, and the Financial Stability Board. So guys, I'm optimistic. I think we've all been very optimistic about the APAC region right now. The bigger play is going to be what is happening in the US. That is kind of like the final piece of the puzzle that we kind of have to get in place before the real world utility really kind of explodes here. So I wanted to thank Rahul Advani just for that update. Now, guys, I also happen to see this from Matthew Liny on Twitter, Bank of Japan, and this just came out in November, okay? So just last month, November 2023, efforts to improve payments using distributed ledger technology. They recently just released this report here, and I will link the PDF in the description of the video for you. From November, so literally just last month, in recent years, central banks of various countries have conducted experiments to distribute wholesale CBDCs using distributed ledger technology. Underlying these developments are the growing momentum for upgrading existing payment systems and efforts by the private sector to provide new payment services. Notice how they mention the private sector specifically, all right? A closer look at the experiments confirm the broadening of the focus areas covered by the experiments, from payments to security settlement and cross-border settlements, while the findings of these experiments suggest that the introduction of wholesale CBDCs has the potential to bring about improvements, including the shortening of long transaction chains and the reduction of costs. They also point to further needs, such as adjusting the rules for establishing a distributed platform that spans multiple countries and examining the macroeconomic impact of the introduction of such a platform. Meanwhile, as an approach that does not involve the establishment of a DLT platform or the introduction of wholesale CBDCs, there are moves to improve payments by enhancing and utilizing existing payment and settlement systems, guys. Again, this is from the Bank of Japan. Their review from, theoretically, could have been from yesterday, but November 23, today is December 1st. It is important to continue to carefully monitor these developments and work closely with relevant parties, both at home and abroad. Now, efforts to improve payment systems using DLT technology, focusing on wholesale CBDC experiments. Looks like the BOJ will implement APIs to access DLT technology for its first generation applications. And you guys can see here payment and efficiency for cross-border payments. They also mention Project Ubin down here. Note this, though, okay, from 4 months ago, Bank of Japan to use XRP to facilitate cross-border payments. In a significant development for the cryptocurrency world, the Bank of Japan, or the BOJ, has announced its decision to leverage Ripple's digital asset XRP to streamline cross-border payments. This groundbreaking move marks a major step towards the adoption of cryptocurrencies in the traditional financial sector. The Bank of Japan, known for its proactive stance on financial technology, has long been exploring the potential benefits of blockchain and DLT. With the decision to integrate XRP into its payment infrastructure, the central bank aims to enhance the efficiency, speed, and cross-effectiveness of cross-border transactions. And so this was a LinkedIn post here. But guys, this is big. The Bank of Japan, part of that consortium of Japanese banks that have committed to using XRP, to using RippleNet in their transactions. And so, DLT, CBDCs running on the blockchain. This is just, an extension of what Ripple does very, very well. So wanted to thank Matthew, Liny, for bringing that up. So aren't you glad that you're not one of the ones who is asleep? Cyprus Domenicore here posting this. While the world is asleep, they're going to be talking about this in your grandchildren's history books. The digital transformation, and the majority of the population has no idea what is happening to our financial system. I mean, even with the CBDC results, those questionnaires, and the answers that people were giving, I talked about in yesterday afternoon's video, which I will link up here if you guys didn't catch it. It's funny because the people that already know what central bank digital currencies are the ones that were responding, and they were responding with an overwhelmingly negative response because we know the implications of this. General plead people that are, 90% of the population that just don't get it, that are asleep at the wheel, they're not the ones answering these surveys. So, we do have an advantage here. So he's posting this, okay, I will risk saying that we are going through an inflection point in history, one of those moments when the way we think about a certain topic might be changing in a fundamental way. Technological change has also been so fast and foundational that it might be altering some core concepts of the financial system. As we know, I believe cash should continue to exist and people should have the option if they want to use it. And then they give an example here of Sweden going cashless, but he sees the writing on the wall. Cash usage is going down and the network effect goes against it. The scenario of a cashless society is claimed by some to be a conspiracy led by banks and credit card companies. I think the reality is more boring. We are seeing a behavioral shift towards digitalization and dematerialization, which we also see in the wider financial system. And then this guy's from the Bank for International Settlements, shaping the future financial system in public interest. And then some of the keynote speakers here. But look at the topic, exploring central bank digital currencies, evaluating challenges and developing international standards. This was a conference that was just held last week, November the 28th, so only a few days ago. So wanted to thank Cyprus Domenicore for that. The ISO GOAT also bringing this to our attention, and this is all kind of related here. Ripple is estimating, or at least this is from a survey they did back in 2022. Experts estimate a $16 trillion market. This was in a Ripple report, the business opportunity tokenizing global liquidity assets by 2023. So 16 trillion is what they're estimating. And SEPA seems to be already on top of it. Now the EU is pushing SEPA's multi-currency capability, and that too in the form of 24/7, 365 real-time payments. The EPC published the one leg out instant credit transfer, so the OCT instant scheme rulebook in March of 2023, and the service will start at the end of November 2023. So it looks as though, I don't think we've gotten any reports on delays here. It looks as though that has now kicked off. The Euro and SEPA regulations are very beneficial for banks and businesses in participating countries. So here, just kind of outlining some of those same points here. We've got a map of the countries that are involved. So basically, much of Europe, much of Western Europe, and some of Eastern Europe, not too much, but countries such as Latvia, Finland, up here, and looks like Ireland. So that is SEPA. Obviously, there is a connection to Ripple and SEPA. I've done a few videos on that. I will see if I can find one of the more recent ones, and I'll link it up here. Swift SEPA one leg out credit transfer went live. This is released just less than 2 weeks after the November 19th ISO 20022 upgrade to use digital assets. So in terms of Swift integrating this, that's due to the week's launch of the European Payment Council, the one leg out instant credit transfer scheme, which went live this week and is powered by Swift. Down there it says it's powered by Swift, but guys, check this out. SEPA cross-currency upgrade for international cross-border payments goes live. So SEPA and the XRP ledger. We know that, considering Swift is the legacy system involved, they are definitely going to be a part of this, but the new technology, guys, is going to be powered by the XRP ledger. One leg out instant credit transfer system for SEPA. In the SEPA area, so it just talks about cross-border payments here, and then specialized in foreign payment transactions because they can earn good money on the exchange rates. With digitalization, additional providers have entered the market here, such as Ripple and Wise. Those two often have to make payments abroad quickly, end up with a specialized provider. So just more information here with regards to SEPA. Even the European Payment Council talking about this too with regards to cross-border payments. I believe that was from their LinkedIn page. Just going through a bunch of sources here. XRPL Labs and GateHub joined forces for the on and off ramps for 14 assets, including work for SEPA and Swift. So on the XRP ledger, guys, it says it right here, SEPA and Swift going through some. So, a lot of interconnected activity. Even back in the day, Chris Larson made this comment about how XRP is going to be integrated into SEPA. Listen to this, courtesy of Mr. Mann on Twitter.
So am I right in thinking the strategy is then to get kind of a nationwide deployment of Ripple? And if so, how is that going to work? What's the strategy?
Yeah, so the strategy really is now first try to get a bank in each of the key regions of the world, because if you can connect one bank on ACH in the US to one bank on SEPA in Europe, you have effectively connected all of the banks on those two networks. So you really get a multiplier effect. Now we have this FIDOR out of Germany on SEPA, and we have now these two US banks on ACH. Now we got to work on China, we got to work in South America, India, and really continue to spread it and get to some of the bank networks. So definitely getting banks as gateways to bring currencies onto the platform is very important. And then along with that, bringing market makers to make markets between those currencies, cross currencies. We've already been pretty successful there. We have about 7 institutional market makers already. Now it's really kind of filling it up with banks.
That's right, you heard him correctly, the multiplier effect, because they've got SEPA.
Now we have this FIDOR out of Germany on SEPA.
So now that everything is integrated, guys, are we going to see some more utility? Well, I do think it's going to take time. I do still think that, we're not quite there yet. And I do think we could, in fact, see that utility boom once we do see a more liquid market for XRP. ISO 20022 pointing this out too. Ripple cited as a key driver for SEPA instant changes in a Deloitte report. So another point here, just driving home that fact that Ripple, the technology behind it, is going to help SEPA payments. The key drivers for SET, and down here they mentioned digitalization and technological advancements. The adoption of new technology has drastically transformed the payment landscape over the past few years. The emergence of virtual currencies like Bitcoin and Ripple with near real-time settlement. So mentioning it here from Deloitte talks about SEPA and how RippleNet can in fact help play a huge role in driving payments there. So wanted to thank ISO 20022, Mr. Man here, and everybody else, Chad Steingraber. Sometimes I forget to thank people, but I want to give people proper credit. So ISO GOAT as well. Everybody involved in this. Now, happen to see this too, guys, from Cyprus to Menoncore. BlackRock lists digital currencies as a major force, and this is important because of the next discovery that I wanted to mention, okay? So cryptocurrency is a major force, digital currencies, they say specifically, shaping the future of finance. It is so sad that only 425 million people on Earth out of billions are even aware this is taking place. So BlackRock put out this report, okay, back in October, a fast-changing U.S. financial landscape. Greater competition for deposits and proposed banking regulation are set to benefit savers, further diversify company funding sources, and create investment opportunities. Okay, these developments are examples of the broader aspect of an unfolding mega force. Activities that previously were bundled together in the same institutions, such as deposit taking and lending in banks, can be unbundled now. We see that unbundling continues to play out as banks and other financial institutions innovate. Regulation evolves and technology develops around payments, digital currencies, the tokenization of assets, and artificial intelligence. And then here, the fast-changing financial architecture and fintech, specifically innovations in payments, digital currencies, tokenization of assets, and AI are all likely to play a key role in how financial systems, regulation, and policy evolve. And who the likely winners will be? Well, we know BlackRock will never take chances of not being a likely winner. They're kind of in the pocket while they run the world. I mean, they have most of the world's wealth. I mean, they are one of a handful of institutions that really control the money and have deep ties to the powers that be. So when MRA here at TAA6969 posted this, that R3 is in fact BlackRock, are you surprised? Now, I know we had a bit of a discussion over the last few months about R3 using XRP, not using XRP. I do think the final verdict, though, they did state that XRP is being used by R3's Corda, or can be used. It's not exclusive to R3, but can be used. 707 Crypto posted this, R3 Corda base token type XRP digital currency class. Here's just a short clip of a video describing that.
Use the fiat currency, which again, let's say you want to have GBP as your base token type. You can use this inbuilt utilities. You can also use this digital currency class, which let's say gives you instances of, let's say XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on.
XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on. You can use any of those currencies. So she states here from R3, she states you can use XRP to settle. And I think that is now confirmed. Guys, check this out though, okay? R3 is BlackRock. Corda can run on multiple blockchains. The question is which one? And this is what MRA found here, okay? Edgar search results. Something from the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission here. R3, okay, listed here And look at where the business address and the mailing address, the same address, is. Care of BlackRock Inc., Park Avenue Plaza, 55 East 52nd Street in New York City. Things that make you go, why is R3's business location, or at least one of their offices, connected to BlackRock specifically? And it's not just the same building, guys. It is BlackRock, care of BlackRock Inc. So, I mean, when we know the details and connect the dots, I think the picture is becoming clearer and clearer. BlackRock definitely going to use XRP, and not even just through this avenue, through many other connections that we found. And so when they say, a fast-changing U.S. financial landscape, they're not joking. The utility will eventually kick off. XRP will have to command a high enough price to perform the transactions it was set out to do. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.